Good afternoon, evening, dzień dobry, wieczór, everybody. Here we are at the 95th WarsawJS Meetup, and we're at the Google Startup Campus in Praga. Glad to see you all here today, and I think it's going to be exciting. Is anyone here for the first time at WarsawJS? Whoa! Oh, a whole bunch of newbies. Give these guys a big hand. Welcome. Yeah. Nice to see you here, and also nice to see, oh gosh, here I am. Nice to see our audience who is out there, the virtual audience online. I'm Barry Salone, and I will be your master of ceremonies today. I like the way that sounds. And we want to introduce you to our organizing team. This would be Piotr Gentara, who's sitting here in the corner. Give him a hand. Gabriela Chuha. And Maciej Makniewski, wherever you are. Hello, we love you very, very much. So yeah, these are the guys that make it all happen. They are the actual organizing team, and they do a lot, and they are packed. I mean, they've got a lot of talent, energy, resources, and all of that. We also have in the back one of my favorite people on the planet, and this is really true, this is no joke, Louisa Haas, who is our Meetup Tech Team Leader Organizer. Hey, Louisa. Cześć. In addition to that, we also have a lot of volunteers. The ones we want to especially mention are Wenyao Lin, sitting here in the corner. Anna Lukianova, who is not present. Anna, are you here? Where is she? She's always here. Konrad Dziekoński and Grzegorz Markowski. Yes, anyone interested in volunteering, please contact us at any time. Our volunteers are always welcome. So what is WarsawJS? WarsawJS, it says here, exists to support both professional and novice software developers within the IT community. We intend to accelerate the process of education by sharing our knowledge and experience. Now, I got to tell you guys, 2-3 years ago, whenever it was, that's the thing that attracted me to this thing, because I am the least technical-minded person you will ever meet. However, I was very, very impressed that people with such knowledge and skill would be interested in giving away, in giving back, in sharing knowledge and skills. And for free? How does that work? Well, it's not free, actually. However, I think it's an admirable thing to do. And we have a mission statement here, which is about the Berlin Code of Conduct. Now, that's all about respect. It means that whether you're blue, green, orange, smell good or not, we're all going to be respectful to each other and respectful. And we're going to entertain ourselves in a cultural, kind of civilized and very decent way toward each other. So indecent language and treatment of other members and attendees will not be tolerated, and I promise you that. So that's what we stand for. That's our mission statement. And listen, there will be 4 talks today. This is our agenda. Why is pizza in second place? What's so funny? Okay, I get it. I get the joke. So there will be 4 talks. There will be pizza. There will be lightning talks as well. And of course, a lot of this is also about getting that knowledge, sharing knowledge, interacting, and the networking, without which none of this makes any sense. You know, this remote environment that we've all been immersed in for a couple of years, you know, it works on some levels, and on other levels, not so much. It means that it's nice to interact with a real person every now and then. Agreed? You guys, come on, stick with me. So far at this point, we have over 6,000 members in the Meetup community. So thank you all for joining, all of you out there and all of you in the room. No, this is worth applause. Come on. Show some enthusiasm. 6,000 members. I think it's very impressive, and it's a valid and a viable and a vibrant community of IT professionals that we're working with. So we're all pleased and thrilled to be able to do that. WarsawJS.com is where you can contact us on our website. Our sponsors today, who also helped to make this all possible, I said it wasn't free, are Callstack, Daft Code, Evolution, Fresha, PackHelp, Prisma, Sumo Logic, and Xfang. Give them a hand, everybody. Yeah. That deserves enthusiasm, because if we don't show them respect, then we won't be back anytime soon. So it's kind of important. Okay, today there will be a contest, and that means that if any of you decides that you get the nerve and you have something that you're able to share with this audience, which is not an easy audience, you can see. See, that was funny. It's true. It was funny because it's true. If you have something that you can speak about for 5 minutes, you will be eligible for a 100 discount for a JetBrains license. So if you're interested in providing a lightning talk sometime during this event, please either contact me or Pio Chentara or Wen Yao and let us know, okay? Think about it. It might be worth it. Today, finally, we're down to the starting point. Oh, also, I want to say to those watching online that please visit our Facebook page. This is WarsawJS at Facebook. And please like the page, make some kind of a review, and invite people, tell people about it. We really will appreciate your communication, your participation, your feedback, always looking to serve the community and be better. Today, I guess our first talk will be given by Rafał, oh, here I go with my Polish pronunciation. Wish me luck. Pocztarski. And the title of his talk is Zig, or is it Zig? It says Zig, right? Nobody knows. Zig, because Fullstack is no longer just JavaScript and TypeScript. Please welcome him to the stage. Here he comes. Oh, by the way, you will have 25 minutes? 25 minutes, Rafał. Not 26, not 27, not 28. Try to keep it as concise as you can. And if you're not able to, don't worry, I'll ring the gong and you'll know, okay? So the gong thing is the thing we try to keep people in line with, and it's kind of funny when it happens. However, do your best to stay within the 25. Oh, he's got the hammer in his hand already. No pressure, no pressure, okay?
And I only need slides on the internet too, so can I just do it right now? And
Go for it.
Okay, I didn't want to, break some setup here. Okay, so hello, I'm Rafał Pocztarski, and today's talk will be Zig, because Fullstack is no longer just JavaScript and TypeScript. Okay, it will be a challenge for me, because I usually, I don't talk very briefly. So some of you may know me from Stack Overflow, and I always tell you, because I even had situations in New York where people recognize my avatar because they knew me from Stack Overflow. It didn't recognize my face, so I always add my avatar to my slides. But that's enough about me. We don't have a lot of time. In the 70s, 80s, and 90s, we had quite a few programming languages designed that are still in use today. But as you can see, languages like C, C++, Perl, it's 70s, 80s, Python, Ruby, Java, Perl, it's many decades old. Even Java and JavaScript is from 95. But lately we had some time that I call the Cambrian explosion of programming languages. There probably will be also some extinction process soon after. But in the last decade, we had decade and few years, we had some interesting programming language developed, like Rust, TypeScript, Zig, Odin, and WebAssembly, which is not really a language, and it is not really about web, and it is not really assembly. So the name is very confusing. It's more like a virtual machine and a bytecode standard. But this development of WebAssembly created some interesting stage for other programming languages. And one of the reasons that some particular kind of programming languages is particularly suited for WebAssembly is that because WebAssembly currently doesn't have garbage collector. It is still in development for many years, but because of that, it's much easier to compile to WebAssembly languages that doesn't use a garbage collector. So mostly lower level languages with manual memory management or automatic memory management like in Rust, but without actually a standard garbage collector. Also, there is some from that a timeline of technologies that are more familiar to us here is Node, TypeScript, yes, Node, Deno, and Bun. It's very Bun is actually another JavaScript and TypeScript runtime. I was talking about it on the previous WarsawJS Lightning talk, so you can probably find it on the YouTube channel of WarsawJS to see some to get some more information. But what is interesting about Bun is that it is actually written in Zig. So like Node has been written in C++, Deno has been written in Rust, and Bun has been written in Zig. I have previously showed some popularity that the Bun already has. I will not go through it very thoroughly right now. The slides will be available online, and at the end, well, there will be URL, so you will be able to get some more information. But what's interesting is that Zig has actually quite a nice popularity. I am comparing it to Rust and to Odin, because those are languages that I think can be compared. Those are relatively recent languages, relatively modern systems programming language, low level programming is possible. Zig is not, of course, not so popular as Rust, but quite a bit more popular than Odin. On my previous Lightning talk, I was talking about some programming languages, and people actually liked the emojis that I associated with them. So. And I was actually telling everyone to learn other programming languages than only JavaScript and TypeScript that is mostly in use today on front-end and back-end development for full-stack developers. I think C is very important to know, even though it is not very convenient to use. C++, I have some opinions about it, and I don't maybe recommend it to learn as a first programming language right now. And I think that for a lot of use cases that C++ was traditionally being used, right now Rust is very nice. And for use cases where previously C was the first language of choice, I think that Zig is currently getting some traction right now. So like Rust is something like the next C++, then Zig could be described as the next C. So it's lower level, lighter language, but it's actually very nice. I will show some features in a moment. Of course, this is from my list of languages that everyone should really know. Of course, JavaScript and TypeScript, but also Scheme, Haskell, Smalltalk, Erlang, some less known languages. I think that it's nice to know at least some basic syntax of those languages to be able to compare it to for example, JavaScript. And I think that knowing languages like Smalltalk or Haskell, you can be really a better JavaScript programmer, because you will be exposed to some other paradigms, to some other techniques, and you will be able to use some of them actually in JavaScript or TypeScript. Of course, assembly, brainfuck, lambda calculus, that I consider to be really a programming language. And even on on Code Wars, you can actually use some of the tasks written directly in Lambda calculus. So I also always recommend it, and knowing it, you can actually learn some nice tricks in functional programming. But going to Zig. The website of the Zig language is ziglang.org. Those are links that will be clickable on the slides where you go to the URL at the end, so I will not go through it very thoroughly, but the Zig show is a very nice podcast. Zig Learn is a very good place to start. What is Zig? So some of the main tagline of Zig is that it is a simple language, so you can focus on debugging your application rather than debugging your programming language knowledge. Some of the programming languages have really very complex syntax like C++ or Perl. So the syntax alone is very difficult to learn. And even if you learn some subset of the syntax that you can write your programs in, then you will inevitably see some other programmers' programs that use another subset, so you will eventually really have to know the entire syntax. So this language is very simple by design. It has no hidden control flow. So if you see, for example, in JavaScript, we know that even something like accessing a property of an object can really invoke some function, because we can have some, some properties that are like some getters, setters that are really invoked when you access a property. So in some cases, just writing x equals a.b can really throw an exception, and it is not apparent from just looking at the code. This is you will not find something like that in Zig. So only things that look like a function call will really be a function call. All other things will not invoke a function call. So reading the code is easier. No hidden memory allocations, which is also important because, for example, in JavaScript, there are some kinds of exceptions that we cannot really catch. So, for example, like we get out of memory, and it can happen anytime when you set some property of an object and the runtime needs to allocate some memory. It can fail, but we cannot do really anything about it. And actually, a lot of languages cannot handle going out of memory. So it's not common for programming languages to be able to really do it. Here, there are no hidden memory allocation. Actually, you can do it in C, but it has some more problems. But every time you use malloc, you can really check if it failed and do something about it. But in languages, especially with automatic memory allocations like JavaScript, you cannot really do anything about it. So Zig allows you to handle those exceptions. So it can be your programs can handle certain errors that most of the other programming languages cannot handle. There's no preprocessor and no macros. So anyone who was writing in C knows that preprocessor is really like a different language, and it's like you are writing in two languages. First is the preprocessor language, and another is C. Those two languages don't really know about anything about themselves. So you can like define something like unbalanced parentheses. So I've seen a program that the C program that started with hash define begin, open curly brace, and hash define end close curly brace, and programs later looked like Pascal. So you didn't use really curly braces, but use begin and end. And it is very hard for IDEs and for static analysis, because really you cannot know what even the syntax is without knowing everything that you have included, all the header files that you include in C. This is by design. There is no preprocessor in Zig and no macros at all. There are also no exceptions. So we are used to try and catch using standard like style, like in C++, Java, JavaScript, TypeScript, that we are catching errors, catching exceptions, we are throwing exceptions, we are using try, catch, and this is like another control flow different from returns from the functions. Here, there is nothing like this. You just return errors from functions like you return values, but actually code that is using those functions cannot ignore those errors. So it's impossible to just, for example, in C, if anyone was writing in C, then you know that you can pretty much ignore every error and not check it. Here, you cannot do it. I will show some exception in a few seconds. There is comp time keyword, and it means that pretty much every code you can tell the compiler to run at the compilation time instead of a runtime. So this is something that, because of that, you don't really need a preprocessor, because you can do a lot of work that you need to do some setup at the beginning with the comp time keyword. There is Zig build built-in, no pun intended, that is a build system, so you don't need a make, or you don't need make files, you don't need like auto tools and all of the tool chains that you usually need to build a project. And Zig actually is provided as a single binary, so it has built-in build system. It is actually also a C and C++ compiler, so you can use it to compile C and C++ or to just use some of the, and it actually has the function call ABI compatible with C. So you don't need to write in even any boilerplate to use C libraries or to write, to use from the C to call your Zig code from C or vice versa. Also, it has cross-compilation out of the box. So anyone who has ever done cross-compilation knows what a pain it is to set up cross-compilation. You need to install all of the toolchain compilers, make pretty much everything with the specific versions to cross-compilation. There are conflicts with your main tool set. Here, cross-compilation is out of the box. So on every host, you can build for every target. This it's just like nothing. It's a very convenient thing that you can, for example, build, I don't know, on the Mac OS, you can build a Windows binary or Linux binary or anything like this. So this is how the syntax looks like. For anyone, this is like a C-style language like we are used to today in Rust, C, C++, Java, JavaScript. So this is it's not very unusual. And this is an example of Hello World. The print is actually, it's by design, it's not just print, because you can choose the buffering, what it should do if, for example, the file descriptor is closed, etc. But this is just a simple example. You import the standard library and you just use it, like you would in most of the current programming languages. You have built-in test runner in Zig, so you don't need to install something like Jest or something like this. And it has actually quite a nice syntax. You can put those tests directly inside of your code, and later you can run it. Here we can see some example of the types that it supports, like U16 is like unsigned integer. Also, if we see is also an expression instead of just a statement, so it returns actually a value, so you can increment the x here by either 1 or 2 depending on the value of a. Of course, we need to see the Fibonacci sequence because this is very important sequences. We couldn't be able to estimate our tasks in Jira without Fibonacci sequence, so it's very important. And here we see some recursion and also test directly following the function. You can just put those tests directly inside your code, and then running Zig test, it will just run it. So I said that there are no exceptions, and here the failing function shows that it could either return an error of type oops, because you always can say which kind of errors it can return, or void. So the function is void in a context that it doesn't return any non-error value, but as you can see, you just return the error. So there's no magic like throw a syntax or something like this. And the test actually shows also how you can catch the error. So you just run the function, and following the catch keyword, it looks pretty much like in Ruby Lambda function. You just test the error, what is the type of the error, and you can just run it like this. And also, it's important to know that the compiler will not let you run the failing function without actually checking for the error, because it is annotated that it can return an error, so you just cannot ignore it. Of course, you can ignore it explicitly, but you cannot just forget about it. So I think that I probably didn't cross my time, but maybe there is some time for questions. If there are any questions, of course. Okay, I don't know if there's something from WarsawJS who can give some microphone. There is a special microphone that's unbreakable.
Okay, hi, great talk. So my takeaway is that Zig is a shot at the next C-like language, right?
Yes, yes.
So have you heard about Carbon?
Sorry?
Have you heard about Carbon?
Yes, I've heard about Carbon. It's more to display C++ than C. So it is actually developed by some ex-developers from the C++ committee. And it's very, very early. But actually what I've heard about it, I don't see what is the good use case for Carbon that you wouldn't use Rust for example, which is more mature at this point. But I think that Zig is lower level language than both Carbon and Rust. So it's more like to replace C than to replace C++, like Carbon is targeted at.
Okay, thanks.
Hi, good talk. Thank you. So Rust, I've seen many build tools written in Rust. It has a lot of community stuff like that. Can you name another project like Bun that is written in Zig, which is popular right now?
Actually, I cannot, because I think that it is just getting traction. It is not even a 1.0 version right now. I was actually quite surprised about Bun, that it was written in Zig and it works well. At least it seems to work well. But I think that it is very early stage of development on Zig. It already has quite a few years, and it is, I think, a solid syntax. But there are not that I know of about some software that is popular. Rust is, of course, very popular, especially in the WebAssembly environment. But I think that for early adopters, this is a very good time to start writing in Zig, because, for example, there are no libraries, so everything is needed. So we can just write some libraries, write some code, help with the development of the core language. And I always like to get involved in very early stages of tools like that, like was with Node or Deno. I think that the first stages of the languages are most interesting. But of course, it is not yet much mature enough that there's a lot of software written in Zig. But I think that it is already ready to write some software. I don't think that the syntax will change a lot. Probably it will not change at all. The syntax, as I said, is very simple. It's by design. The entire grammar is like 500 lines. And like a formal grammar defined for the language. So I don't think that the syntax itself will change, but of course there will be probably more standard libraries and tools. But it is not mature yet. But I think that it is mature enough so that it's a good time to get interested about it.
You mentioned you had on your slides that it's C and C++ compiler. Do you know how it's possible? Is this GCC fork or something like this? And second question, have you tried Zig in the battle? So what is the most, if you tried it like on, maybe not production, but what's the most complex application you have written in Zig? Thank you.
I think that the time is going over. We will be able to talk afterwards, of course. Okay. Actually, the idea that the creator of Zig had at the beginning was to fix C. So he actually came out from C and tried to fix the problems that he had writing in C, and started by removing features like C preprocessor, like defines, like a lot of features. And he found out that removing the features actually improved the language because it got simpler. And simpler mechanism like the comp time keyword could be used to instead of the preprocessor. And actually, probably as far as I know, the beginning was it includes the C and C++ compiler because it uses it internally. And so the idea was that you needed to include the C libraries. You need to compile the header files, etc. So one of the ideas was to just export it at the command line level, so you just can use it as a compiler because it is included already.
One last question from Dziedziuch Programuje. From YouTube comments. So why front-end developers should know that language?
And yes, and the answer is WebAssembly, because front-end developers can already use WebAssembly, and there are already languages that are compiled to WebAssembly. Traditionally, it was the beginning was C, C++, Rust. There's also assembly script. So currently, the only languages that can be efficiently compiled to WebAssembly are those that do not use garbage collector. So Rust, C, C++, and Zig. So it is a very good low-level programming language that it can be efficiently compiled to WebAssembly out of the box, actually. So in the context, WebAssembly is the answer why front-end developers should really learn those low-level languages, not only Zig, but Zig included.
Wow, fantastic. You did a great job. And you did a great job because you finished even earlier than we were expecting. Fantastic information. Give him one more hand, everybody. Thank you so much. So first and foremost, I would like to thank the Google campus for providing this venue. And also, especially for this, okay? I'm in love with this thing. I think this is the most amazing innovation and idea. It keeps us from having to walk to the ends of the earth in order to hear your questions. With regard to questions, everyone, because we are limited or time is limited, please try to limit your questions to either single questions. It's like when I hear, and my third question is, okay, so let's try to keep the questions interesting, but also single questions would be much appreciated. And speaking of providing this venue, our next speaker from Skyworker, and by the way, Skyworker also helped us to organize this venue, so give them a hand. Our next speaker is Ola Capinos, and the title, yes, and the title of her talk is, It's Like Tinder. What's Tinder? Okay, it's like Tinder for tech jobs, and it's a lightning talk, so it's going to be brief. Welcome, welcome, welcome. 5 minutes. Thank you so much.
Hi, guys. Thanks for. Actually, my dad just called, and when I told him that I'm going to present for the JS community, he asked, will it be the dance or a song? But we'll be dancing and singing later. First, I wanted to ask your guys' feedback about the app we built. Can I have how to change the slide? Should I do? Okay. We need a moment. Then we can sing. No, at the end of the event, we should do that. Okay.
Can you tell them a joke?
Too early to sing «Ой, у лузі червона калина». Maybe you want to hear some Ukrainian songs? No?
Yes.
No! I shouldn't have said it. Oh, that's me. Okay. And the app I'm talking about is Skywalker. And of course, it's like Tinder for tech jobs. I'm sure all of you know what Tinder is. But Skywalker is like Tinder where all developers are successful. Here, you swipe not on girls or guys, whatever, but on matching jobs. No recruiter is allowed to message you until you swipe right. We already taught recruiters never to use the млодий і динамічний зеспу again, and there is one thing that we are really proud we managed to do for you. We forced recruiters to give you all job details up front about the team, about the project, development phase, benefits, everything is described up front. In addition to that, do you see that green spot on the Skywalker interface? Those are matching criteria, of course. Here you see only jobs which match your salary expectations, tech stack, work type, and so on. We started this app about a year ago in Ukraine. Had a lot of fun with getting the first 30K users on board, even had the referral program with alcohol. What else should it be? It was the Australian wine Marlboro Sun, and those are our happy, drunk Ukrainian users. The DevOps front-end, another front-end guy. Yeah. And thousands of others, of course. When the full-scale war started, part of our team moved to Poland. Co-founders and me used to live in one apartment together, thinking of how to get the first Polish developers on board, the developers who had no idea that we exist. One of the co-founders is right here. It's Alexei, our chief product officer, who is recording this. Yeah, that was in April. In May, we had the first breakthrough. We saw that we were getting more signups from Poland than from Ukraine week over week. And now it's August, and the Polish developers are the second biggest group on Skywalker. When we launched here, I've learned one phrase in Polish language. That phrase, you used it many times. Nie szukam pracy. It felt like I hear it much more often than in Ukraine, but I was wrong, because look at this chart. Those are the number of swipes made by developers in different job search status. Almost half of all swipes were made by people who are not looking for a job. That is more than 10K swipes in 1 month. Developers on Skywalker are not looking for a job. It's not the damn job board. People here monitor the market. If they see the job offer that is much better than their current job, they swipe right. If not, they swipe left. We even have a motto in Skywalker that developers rule the market. So we built the app for you to really rule it. And now to the most important part, as I'm a marketing manager, of course, I want you guys to experience it. Try Skywalker on web or Android app. iOS is coming soon. It's such a pain in the ass, but anyway. Try Skywalker and please share your feedback on LinkedIn. If you don't like the app, make a post saying why you think this is a bullshit. If you like the app, make a post saying why you like it. The coolest, the funniest, the most thoughtful post, even if you don't like the app, will get presents from us, which we'll bring from Ukraine through the Polish border security check. I'm not allowed to tell you what those presents are, but I bet you'll like them. So I will be waiting for your posts, for your opinion, and thanks for your attention. Thank you.
One moment. I just want to say this. First of all, you're a great speaker and presenter. Really? Oh, fantastic. Very comfortable. I just need to say this. I have a huge heart for the idea that you are from Ukraine. That's the first thing. And everyone in this room should be applauding wildly for that. That's the first thing. The second thing is applaud for yourselves, because when you said that a lot of your clicks are coming from Poland, I've never seen anything like this in my life. And believe me, I've been living twice as long as most of you. Okay, the amount of support coming for the situation in Ukraine and the Ukrainian people that I have seen in this country is really exceptional. And everyone should give themselves a big hand for that. Thank you so much for that presentation. And try the app, check it out. Thank you. Fantastic. Fantastic. Yes, means a lot to me too. Wow, that was really something. Big surprise. Why didn't you tell me that we had a speaker from Ukraine? You know how I am, right? I'm so into it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, Rafał Pocztarski was very effective in the information that he delivered. We hope that you enjoy everything and really take this information to your mind and make use of it. That's why we're here. Our next speaker will be Tadeusz Kurpiel. And the title of his talk will be, It's High Time for Temporal. Now, is it temporal or temporal? Or is it temporal? Well, let's find out. Tadeusz, are you here in the room? Tadeusz Kurpiel. Okay, counting down. 10, 9, 8. Tadeusz Kurpiel. Okay, because if he's not here, then I have to tell jokes, or 4, 3, 2, 1.5. What? All right. Tadeusz, hopefully we'll hear from you in a few minutes. What may have happened? You think he was kidnapped? No, they're not kidnapping. They're not kidnapping on the Google campus, I don't think. All right, so that leads us to our next speaker, a man I've had the pleasure of becoming familiar with, getting acquainted with. Very talented, very effective speaker, speaks English maybe better than I do. And his name is Jacek Rojek. The title of his talk, Jacek, if I got this correct, is Gitpod IO for automated and ready-to-code development environments. Give him a big welcome. Jacek. 25 minutes. Ta-da! 25 minutes.
One, two. Oh, nice. Oh, no, you can. Okay, you can take it now. 1 sec. I have to configure the sharing.
Hello?
Is it good? Yeah. Well, I cannot see anything behind me. Oh, nice. Okay.
Good luck, Jacek.
No, disappeared. Okay. What's going on? I will use HTML strict. Yeah, I've used the HDMI directly without the adapter. All right, this talk will be a bit lighter than the previous one. It's going to be about the tool I found recently. Okay. So as WarsawJS, we also organize workshops. And during workshops, there's often a problem of configuring your local environment. If I'm having a workshop for like 10 people, there's always like 1 or 2 people struggling to even set up the project. And it takes like a lot of time to configure it locally and be ready to run your first line of code. And the solution I found is this Git.io. And what they offer is virtual IDE, but it's a bit different than the one people used to find on the internet, like JS Fiddle or any other environment. Because this one allows you to open VS Code in a browser, and not only the like raw VS Code, but the VS Code with your actual preferences from your local machine, and much more. So they already are used by other companies like Amazon, like Uber, so quite a reliable company. They are growing fast. I'm not sponsored by the way, but if they want to pay me, like I'm always welcoming. So I'll just show this in action. So the cool feature they offer is to add a button in your README that allows people to just press it and open the repository with pre-made configuration. And once it loads, I will show you how the config file looks like. So as you can see, it all automatically opens like dark theme, theme for icons. This also is configured from the configuration is saved. So if I search for sync data, you can sync it even with your local machine. So if you have you use VS Code for daily development, you can install a plugin that allows you to sync your local settings. And I will show you how it looks like. There we go. So they offer a VS Code plugin that allows you to sync your settings. Because right now, the default options for VS Code are GitHub and I think Microsoft account. But this one also allows you to sync both settings, the online and offline. So it's quite interesting. So what we have here. So maybe if you saw, it already opens runs the npm install and runs the npm run build, npm run start, and creates a server that I can open. And the project is already running. It took like a couple seconds. And it also has out-of-the-box GitHub integration. So person pressing the button can automatically join the repository, create new branch, make a commit, and it's a matter of a couple minutes, or maybe even less, to run your first line of code and create a pull request. So this is an example I've used during one of my workshops. It's Next.js frontend and Netlify CMS backend. The configuration that allows you to run the npm run develop, build, installing dependencies is stored in the git-pod YAML configuration. So here they use tasks, which are run when the server is starting. So the heavy tasks are in the init command, and they run only once. When you want to restart the server, then the only task that will be run is the before and the command. So this one you can save thanks to this you can save your development time when restarting servers. So here we can do npm install, npm run build, the heavy task up front, And when I open the server next time, it's just going to do npm run start and opens the browser in a matter of seconds with the configuration specified by me. And here we go. And ports. It can expose ports and specify the type of opening. And all the ports are visible somewhere over here. Oh, there we go. So there is even a tool that allows you to inspect the open ports. So there is it also comes with the GitHub plugin, and there we have it. So there is a GitHub.io plugin that you can install into your GitHub account, and it allows you to modify your repository, basically add the integration of this product to your repository. And they offer a couple of features. For example, adding a button or integrating this into pull request into main branch. So here I've created a pull request where I change the configuration into a Docker file. And since I already have this in my repository, the configuration, which is pretty much copied from that place. Let me close this one. I can open this with a different configuration, but since I already have it running in the background. So not only I can write this in the YAML config, but I can also specify a Docker container. So here I'm using a different base. In this case, it's Manjaro Linux. And maybe I'll make it bigger so everyone can see it. So I'm not limited to the configuration they provide. I can use any Docker image I want. And here I'm just I can run inside the npm commands manually. Or I can use neofetch to see the config of the machine. So this is the cloud engine that is running the virtual machine. So this way I can configure all the environmental variables and other more complex tasks. For people familiar with Docker, this will be really helpful. I will go through git.yaml. So there is the start task I've mentioned before. So with the GitHub extension, they allow you to do pre-builds, and this is the stuff that I was using before. That's why the setup is so quick, because I have the pre-build things enabled. And if I go to dashboard in the new tab, you will see how it works. So they offer things like workspaces. That's how they name it. So in the base plan, you can have a limit of 50 workspaces and 4 active at the same time. And each of them is actually shareable as well. So you can interact in the same code base with multiple people. Maybe I will open one of them. This is master. I have to confirm if I clicked. Yep, so if you make it shareable, then I can just go to WarsawJS. If I paste the link, people can actually go into the repository, go into my open environment and modify the code just as if they would with the plugin of LiveShare. There is this plugin probably more that's more familiar to people. So this way people you operate on the same repository, exactly the same one live environment. I think there's a limit of like a couple people, like 4 or 5 at the same time, but still offers this extra option. Let me go to pre-builds. Oh, there we go. So the new features they are introducing is allowing you to build multiple repositories at once. So this way you can create backend and frontend and having them running simultaneously. That's the beta feature that is coming in. They have the test repository for running that. And so this way you can connect run the backend task and frontend task in 2 different repositories, which might be pretty handy. Obviously, they offer the SSH, the dot files, and environmental variables, everything that you would expect from a tool like this. Things to keep in mind: the GitHub is not configured. The first time you have to do the commit or like interact with the GitHub, it will prompt you to give some extra permission. But apart from that, it's running pretty fast and pretty smooth. Things they are working on right now is also hot reloading, which is not enabled by default. So if you write something in React, it would not be, you would not have the feature of hot reloading by default enabled. And they also work on the two-way tunneling and opening port to your local browser, because from what you probably saw, if you run the port, which is like 3000, it actually opens the random generated URL with that port open. So if I go this one. Yep, it's almost instant. So the port it exposes creates a random URL that you can access to make a connection to the local host that will be usually on your machine. So, and this bridge does not allow you to cross the information of hot reloading. So there are a bit of downsides that I've noticed during the development. Apart from this, it's pretty good. I think I've actually finished quite fast. Do you have any questions about the tool? Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna finish. Okay. Yeah. Where's the microphone? Over there. Okay, I'm open for questions. That was a bit chaotic, but still. Oh, and by the way, they offer. Okay, they offer multiple IDEs, so you're not only limited to VS Code, but you can use your any favorite IDE for development. And also, they offer configuration for the your IDE, so you can install custom extensions here. So if you write VS Code extensions, you can select the extension that will be installed by default on that repository. So thanks to that, like people will instantly have ready environment with all the extensions, all the commands, all the node version, correct packages, pretty much out of the box. Then yeah, I think it's pretty good idea to have this setup, this approach to instantly commit to repository without installing dependencies, without configuring your local environment. Because there's sometimes a problem with different node versions or stuff like this. There's always a hassle if you have multiple projects running on your machine and each of them require a different version of node or different dependencies. This just streamlines the process of development, and I think it's pretty good. Okay, a bit chaotic, but I think you get the point of the tool. Okay, any questions?
1, 2, 3. Oh, right now. Okay, I have a question because does it somehow supports microservices? Because, for example, I want to develop backend and I have 2 or 3 services. I want to connect with my front end, and can I work on them simultaneously and see the changes on the go, or
so there is
support that?
So there is this multi-repo workspaces. They are working on this right now. It's in beta. So this way you can request additional repositories. So if you have a front-end that relies on multiple backend services, you can request them in this using this format, and it would pull the resource. It would build the projects in addition to building your own front-end. It would build the dependencies you specify, and the backend. I will find the configuration of backend is a bit different. So backend just writes that the main configuration is in a different folder. So yeah, the front end writes like this is what I'm requiring to run, and backend just says that the main configuration is there. So they just connect this way. And I think there's no limit like of amount of repositories you can connect. So just you can require additional repositories to the main one. But this is in beta, so I didn't have much time to test it. But I think there is an option to have multiple, like more complex structures running across different repositories, having them connected together. Or you can always use Docker and set it up everything inside the Docker container.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
And it's open source, by the way. The whole tool is open source. And it can be self-hosted as well. Any other questions?
Hello, hey man, that was a great talk. Thanks so much. So question, I noticed there are quite a few things here mentioned about like the SSH stuff, and security-wise, I don't think, it would be, I'm a bit unclear as to how it functions entirely. Is it more like a system of just trust us, bro, and like just open the connection, or is the setup for security done mostly by the developers here?
With the security, I mean, probably wouldn't trust that much if you have like a system that requires a lot of that handles confidential data or requires a lot of OPSEC, operation security. Then probably it's not the solution I would go for. It's probably more for open source developments rather than the proprietary one. I think for commercial use, I would still go for like something more secure, like offline development. I mean, companies trust this, trust them. Like there are companies using them, like Uber or like free code company. I know all this one is open source. So I'm not sure about this. I mean, judging that the other big companies trust them, it's probably secure. But I'm not that sure about this. It's more like open source, really. Good question,
Cool.
by the way.
Thanks.
Any more questions? I will maybe mention this. They have like cool documentation. It's really, the more I dig, the more I find like cool stuff they produce. They have documents like about core values of their company and the open sourceness of the project, development experience, flexibility. They even have all the process management described as an like open source document. And I find it pretty cool. Maybe I will post the links to that because that's extra resource of managing projects and doing this kind of stuff, like writing docs in Notion. Pretty handy. Okay, so if there are no more questions, then maybe one more.
Again, you were much quicker than 25 minutes. I was expecting you to fully fill the time. This is a good thing, however. This is a good time. Thank you very much. If there's no more questions, please give Jacek a big hand. Next on the stage, if I see them in the room, by the way, our missing speaker has been found. So everyone can come back in and stop looking for him. But before that happens, I'd like to invite to the stage a young woman named Justyna, who is representing an event that's coming up in Warsaw called If Warsaw. She's got a 5-minute presentation. And also, she has a contest that you can win. I think it's possible that 3 of you will be able to win. You're coming right after. Don't go anywhere. Okay, just don't go anywhere. Okay. Yeah, so she's going to have a contest that's going to enable you to win something. So pay close attention. And please welcome Justina to the stage. Are you ready? Yes, do presentation. Okay. Okay. Got you. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Sure. Without any further delay, I would like to invite. Okay, so you're going to come later. We're going to bring our friend to the stage who was supposed to have been here earlier. And let's see, I think I see him from here. Are you ready, sir? Yes, please. We are looking for you and anxious to hear what your talk will be about. Did you get kidnapped on the way? Yeah, you don't look like an easy person to kidnap, I got to tell you. And since I don't have my slides available, just tell me your name, please, again.
Okay, my name is Tadeusz Kurpiel, K-U-R-P-I-E-L.
This is Tadeusz Kurpiel, and the title of his talk is It's High Time for Temporal. Is that correct?
Yes, you're absolutely right.
We welcome you, and we're glad you made it. Thank you very much. 25 minutes? Is it going to take you 25 minutes, or is it going to be faster?
Maybe something about that.
Okay.
But give me one extra minute.
Sure, take your time, relax. No pressure, look.
All the...
Everyone's chill.
Okay. Could you please help me with setup?
Yes. Here comes our tech master who's going to help us hook this up. We have a solution. Okay. So usually when this happens, I either sing or dance. So let's see. Or you can probably sing and dance both. I feel it.
No, of course I can sing. Sure, if anybody could hear it and stand up.
Okay, let's see. Oh, here comes our dancing master. Thank God. Our major organization. Yeah, we seem to have a glitch here happening. So welcome, everybody. This is what happens. See, what I tried to do today, this is me, of course, thinking. I said, you know what? Something might happen. So why don't you leave your house much, much earlier? And sure enough, when I got to Solidarności over here, the tramways were all shut down. Now, who knew? Of course, it's like, be ready for anything, folks. And thank you very much for being respectful and patient. Yes, yeah, I see it. Got it? Ten, 9. I'm joking, of course. I'm just, what do? You make jokes if you know how. Maybe someone wants to tell a good joke. You look like a guy who's got some good jokes. We did? We're ready? Have fun.
This one, okay. Okay. As you already know, my name is Tadeusz Kurpiel, and the title of this talk will be It's High Time for Temporal. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome everybody. Okay, I've put some photos of pets here because at the last meeting there was some doggy, and I didn't want to exclude such participants. So, welcome everybody to this talk. I hope it will be interesting. Okay, let's start with the short recall of the present situation with time and date API in JavaScript. Right now, the main and actually the only way to use the date and time in JavaScript is the date object. And here is a quick review of its methods, how we can use it, and so on. We won't stop here much longer because I think it's widely known and there is no need to explain every method, every property, and so on. Just for quick recall, what's the present situation? What we can do with the date object? Okay. As we can see, we can perform quite a lot of operations with this object, and the question arises. Okay, we don't have voice from computer. Okay, it's no problem. What's wrong with that object? Do we really need anything else? Okay, and indirect answer, have the external libraries we can find on the NPM repository and in many other places. To point a few, the most popular ones, we have, for example, the MS library. It converts time units to and from milliseconds. Then we have Moment.js and Moment with locales, and JJS, which is a newer version of Moment, and, for example, DataFNS. What do these repositories, these libraries offer? Okay, they parse, validate, manipulate, and display dates with multiple locales, relative time, and so on. Okay, for example, DataFNS offers immutable and pure objects, which is in some cases advantage over the vanilla date object, which is mutable, and it raises some problems in selected cases. What else? DataFNS offers, for example, the date and time arithmetic. We can add, subtract, and make some conversions, comparison and sorting, and so on. Okay, and many other libraries you know probably much better than me. So, to sum up, the date object is well known and familiarized, but there is a demand of features it doesn't suit well or not at all. For example, immutability, support for time zones and daylight saving, support for parts of dates, for example, only months and dates, and so on. Support for Gregorian calendars, durations, which are the difference, just differences between two moments, okay? Now, and last but not least, these libraries are not the standard solution. They do their job, and they're doing it great and so on, but they are not standard, and offer some additional payload, which is not always. We don't like it in some cases. So it's high time for temporal. What's temporal? Temporal is a proposal of extension of the language JavaScript itself. This is the set of tapes which addresses the challenges with a built-in date and time API, such as third-class support for all time zones, including DST safe arithmetic, strongly date objects for dates, times, and parts of the dates, for example, only month-year values, zone date-time values, durations, and so on. All temporal objects are immutable. Okay, full support for non-Gregorian calendars and compliance with industry standards. It works as a global top-level namespace like math. That brings the datetime API to the ECMAScript language. What temporal is not. It is not a function object. It doesn't have a call method and doesn't have a construct method. It is not used with the new keyword. Okay, what's the set of the objects the temporal offers? First, please notice two main groups. One is the exact time tapes, and the second one is calendar date and wall clock tape time tapes. The first group, exact time tapes, for the user works, we can say exactly the same as the Unix epoch time, but as a date object works with millisecond accuracy. Here we have nanoseconds. This 1 million times better granularity. Okay, and the second group, the calendar date and wall clock time tapes, work with the strange inventions of human beings like calendars, and which are strictly connected to different cultures and so on. Most of the world at present days work with so-called Gregorian calendar, but not always and not everywhere. Excuse me. And we can see here the instant, in the first group, the instant object, which is pretty similar to the date, to the legacy date now. Works almost exactly the same. And when we connect the instant object with some time zone calendar properties, we have here the super object named zoned date time, which is, we can say, the object which has a goat mode in the temporal solution. And the rest of the objects, like plain date time, plain time, plain date, plain month day, and plain year month, their names are self-explanatory. As we can see, they work with parts of the dates, not the whole year, month, day, and so on, but for example, only with time, only with date, and with the parts of the dates. Only month and day, year and a month, and so on. Okay, and not in the mainstream of this object, there is a duration, which is, it represents some period of time, some time between two moments. Okay, here we have the same, okay, from different point of view, the situation. We have the long string visualization of some date, and it's shown here which objects deal with which part of the date and time. I think it will be very boring if we'll try to describe all the methods and all the use cases, and it can be easily found in the documentation. The links will be provided at the end of this presentation, but I'll try to point some use cases which are difficult or impossible with the vanilla date object. For example, conversions, what we can do with the temporal. Conversions between calendars. Okay, let's first let's create some date. Okay, now with the calendar Gregorian, as we can see, it was created today about midday, and then I tried to transcode the date to the Japanese calendar and to the Indian calendar. As you can see, it's quite easy. It was enough just to point in the locale string with calendar. And by the way, all these supported locales and calendar values are already in the JavaScript language in the intl datetime format method description. It is it can be easily found at the MDN. And as we can see here, after translation, today, the 10th of August 2022, in the Japanese calendar is the year 4, because they count in the Japan years from the beginning of the era of the current ruler. And time is pretty the same, and month and day are the same as here too. And with the Indian calendar, it's so-called Saka calendar, and its first year is about 78 year of our era. So the current year is 1944. Oh, sorry, by the way, these are the simple cases when the calendar name match the locale name, but there are some more complicated cases. For example, when we use Hebrew calendar, but for example, United States locale and something like that, or Arabian Islamic calendar with Hebrew locales. And not we should remember that not all combinations are valid, and some combinations throw an error. What else we can do with the temporal? We can do the math and some rounding. For example, we have the initial date repeated, but then we created here the date 2 via adding 2 years, 3 months, 5 hours, and 10 minutes to the date 1. And the resulting date is printed below that line. Similarly, the date 3 was created by subtracting 3 years, 4 months, 20 hours, and 100 minutes from date 2. And the result is shown here. And I'm sorry. One more operation, date 4, is created by rounding the date 3 to some unit and with some rounding mode. The day is the largest rounding unit, as I remember. There was a month and year possible at earlier stages of the library, but it was depreciated. And we can choose the rounding mode as well-known sale, floor, and so on. What's the 2 minutes? Okay. What's the current status of Temporal? It is at the stage 3 proposal to the ECMAScript standard. The stages, there are 4 of them in total, are described at the page shown. And the stage 3 is the last one before ready for inclusion to the formal standard. And the roadmap we can find at the issue address on GitHub, and accordingly the plan of getting temporal documentation into MDN. And it is expected to be incorporated into ECMAScript 2023 standard. Where we can find the information about temporal. Okay, these are some addresses. I think the presentation will be available on the WarsawJS site, so you of course can, but you don't have to memorize it right now. How can we play with the temporal today? Not waiting for the incorporation to the standard. For example, installing the prepared so-called polyfill on NPM, because this is it cannot be the part of the language itself yet. It's prepared like an ordinary package, and we can download it and install from the NPM, and it is shown what we have to import and what are the main objects we have to import and use. And 2 more slides will be okay.
My idea is this, that we have a time for 1 question for Tadeusz. Does anyone have a question about this presentation? Here you go, buddy. And then, if you have any further questions, they can talk to you after, as soon as the talks are finished. Thank you so much. We just have to respect the time. We're transmitting live. Please get. Let's
Yeah,
let's
one
have
to
a
one.
question.
It works.
Please.
So maybe not about Temporal itself, but I was always curious where the data for all the calendars live. So for example, we are in Warsaw, someone somewhere decided that we have this time and this time the time zone. What if they will change this tomorrow? How will Temporal and other libraries know about the change?
I'm not sure
Good
I
question.
understand your question fully. Do you mean about the case when the calendar system itself is changed?
Yeah, like the time zone. The time zones in different countries switch in a different moment. So we have this period when
It's just stored in some database.
yeah. It's
Because
external.
it happens sometimes. In Poland, the last time we changed the daylight saving time was about 15 years ago, something like that. And in Russia, by the way, about 10 years ago, they just cleared the daylight saving.
So, the answer to that question is
yes.
It's stored in a database.
It's a record. It's stored in the database.
Okay, thank you very much. That was a very good question. Yes, thank you. Give him a hand, everybody. Give a hand to Tadeusz.
Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
watching.
Thank you as well. That was excellent. So finally, as promised, we're going to bring our next speaker to the working? Is this working? We're going to bring our next speaker to the stage. Justyna is coming back. She's going to tell you about a very special event coming up in Warsaw. And also she has a contest, which means that you'll be able to win something. By the way, in a moment, you'll also hear 2 lightning talks, which we promised you would get a 100% license to JetBrains, free license to JetBrains for doing a 5-minute lightning talk. That's also coming. And Artur Z is in the room, and he has also some surprises for you. So stay tuned, folks. Justyna, nice to meet you. This thing sounds interesting. I'm not quite sure what it's all about. However, I'm sure I'll be informed in just a moment. Welcome, Justyna, to the stage.
Thank you. Okay, great. GM WarsawJS, my name is Justyna Broniszewska, and early this year, I co-founded If Warsaw Foundation, and our mission is to educate about Web3. We would like to also help discover new Web3 talents. We also want to put Warsaw on the map of great Web3 events, and additionally contribute to the global Ethereum community. To do that, we are organizing conference and hackathon here in Warsaw, starting 1st September till 4th September. And this is our schedule. First 2 days will be conference, while you can meet a lot of great people, meet the whole blockchain industry, maybe find new job, and join the adventure with us. And on Friday evening, we start hackathon, and it will last till Sunday morning. So it will be a very interesting event. Hopefully, I will meet you there. We'll also have like a lot of parties and people from the whole world coming here to celebrate Web3. Of course, If Warsaw loves WarsawJS, and that's why we have some free tickets for you today. And I have one question, and the person that answered this question will get one of these tickets. So my question is, what GM means? And why we say that?
That's 2 questions.
Yeah, this is the question. What it means and why we use it. Sorry, I wasn't clear. Yeah, that's actually.
Okay, so I know that GM stands for good morning.
Yes, and why we say that in crypto community, Web3 industry? Anyone knows?
I have a. Can I get a shot at this?
Yeah.
because we are very polite.
That's also true, but this is not the reason.
So the first question was answered properly, yes?
Yeah, it was answered properly. Okay, so 1 free ticket for you, and the person that answers the next question will get additional ticket.
Other side, somebody call. I want to be fair. He's farther away. I'm going to go to the other side of the room. Here we go, sir.
I didn't know if I was the second after, but of course I can answer or try to answer.
Please.
Because mostly most of the hacks were happening in the morning, or the exploit were in the morning.
That's not the answer.
That's the buzzer sound. Okay, back to this side. Here you go, sir.
I think it's time to wake up and invite the Web3 to the community or to the people.
Not really. That's a great idea, but unfortunately, that's not the answer. Okay, here at the front we have,
So
and
far?
he looks like he knows the question, the answer.
We certainly hope so. Here you go.
It stopped?
Yeah,
Oh.
I think because crypto never sleep. We always good morning.
Come again?
Because in crypto, we never sleep. Crypto never sleep. Always in
Not
Discord.
really. That's...
That's a good answer. I like that
But
answer,
that's
but I do a good buzzer sound. Okay, sir. There you go.
Okay, because most of the crypto exchanges is done on the US market, and basically when you wake up, it will be like evenings, something.
No, that's not the correct answer. Okay,
Wow,
we
it
have
seemed
to-
like such a. Aren't you glad that you didn't have to do both? It seems like it's harder than it was supposed to be. There you go.
Okay, there is GM and GN. GN is good night, and actually this is about the Twitter and other communities where good morning we start our communication about the crypto. And with GN we are telling just good night. That's my last comment for the day.
That's not the correct answer. I mean, like GN all like stands for good night, but yeah, that's not the answer.
So the question,
Why we
let's
say
ask the question
GM?
again. Why do we say it? We understand what it stands for. The
Yeah,
question
why
is,
we say
what
it
is the
in-
purpose for saying it? Is that the question?
Yeah, so why we say GM in like Web3 industry?
Okay, you have the answer, sir?
Let's try.
So is it that just 2 letters because the efficiency?
No.
A man
Okay,
after my
we
own
have,
heart. I
like,
might have guessed too.
Another try.
Okay, I have a feeling that this is really going to be the answer. You ready?
Because it's a global community and somewhere in the globe there's a morning.
That's like partially great answer, and that's correct answer, partially.
You see, I knew it. I knew it.
So
yeah.
you get a ticket, but maybe someone has the real answer.
Well, that's
correct
partial.
answer.
That's part of the answer.
Partially, yes.
It's always
partially,
morning
that's true.
somewhere on the planet.
We have
okay.
someone
please,
there.
now, are you going to keep us doing this all night?
Okay,
or-
one last try.
Anyone else? One more try?
One more
you
try.
already tried. Sorry, can't do you. Ready, sir?
No. We have the other person. Wait a second. Would you like to try? Yeah, because I know that Bartek knows the answer.
No fair. And disqualified. Okay, I'm not going to throw it because I'm surely going to hit somebody. I'm blind. You ready?
Hello.
Hey.
So I'm just guessing, and I was about to say that GM and GN, which is good morning and good night. So it represents that somewhere in the world it's morning, while also it's the night. So crypto never sleeps.
Yeah, that's true, but still, that's not the answer I'm looking for. Last one try.
OMG. Oh my gosh. This is really tough. Here we go.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the correct answer.
What was the answer?
I didn't hear it.
Who said it?
He.
He gets to guess twice? Okay, so please tell the audience very clearly what that answer was, sir.
Okay, we're still angry in crypto, so it's still the morning.
Exactly. That's why you say GM.
Oh,
So as you can see.
Yeah, everyone, congratulations. I think we can all go.
So yeah, as you can see, we are still really early. So you can join us on the conference and hackathon if you didn't get the ticket, but we have also opportunity to get 2 of them. Arthur will help us.
Yes.
Could you please?
Okay, I just want to say something. Okay. Is it really true that it's really still early for crypto? I mean, how long has this been going on, guys? A decade? This is still early, according to us. It's very possible. Okay, Arthur is also very talented. He's going to join you. This guy has a lot of charisma. He's been here before. He's been a speaker. Some of you may recognize him. And he's going to ask you some questions. And it's 1 question. Is that correct? 2. Okay.
Okay, so talking about ETH and cryptocurrencies, who happens to know about Solidity language? Who have heard about Solidity? So Solidity, for me, I was reviewing one ebook about Solidity, thanks to Michał Załęcki, greetings. And he's a very great blogger about, he's been introducing me to Solidity. And I think Solidity has a lot of about, it requires a lot of knowledge. And I think today you have a wonderful chance, thanks to Justyna, to be on very interesting conference. And I know that people who are behind this conference are really enthusiastic about extending knowledge, about learning new things. And I have prepared 2 questions for you, but I need to start my quiz software because, as you might already know, I'm organizing JavaScript Championship, and we are almost in the finals. So I think in 2 months I will be able to present to you the winner of the very first JavaScript Championships, and it requires a lot of knowledge to win. And today, since we are in JavaScript community, so you have, by knowing JavaScript, you have a chance to know powerful people in cryptocurrencies community. So generally, since some time, I'm preparing internal quizzes for my attendees. And those are, we will call it Arthur at WarsawJS. Sorry for typos, I'm not checking this. Yeah, exactly. So generally, this is what this quiz is somehow unique because it's open, but I won't go through all of them. I have just 2 questions for you. Yes, you can try to read. Those are very hard questions, some of them.
1, 2,
but
can you hear me? Yeah.
Who can tell me? We will start with easier one. Yeah, we are waiting, just a moment.
OMG, that's all I can say.
Yeah, this is, I can know. Okay, here we are. So we are waiting. Who knows what is VOOC? And you need to also explain what is it. And person who answers this question,
FOOC.
FOOC, exactly.
Who knows?
You can, but you need to explain why is that. And person who answers this question gets the first ticket from my available pool, of tickets to ETH Warsaw. We've got first person. Nice. I'm impressed.
First hand, FOOC. Please educate this crowd and speak clearly. Thank you.
So I might be wrong, but it is what we seen on the website when we load it for the first time. So it sometimes doesn't load the styles, and we seeing it as HTML as it was. And I would say it is the side effect of adding styles with DOM API.
Okay.
Question, do we need to define what FOOC stands for?
No, what it basically, what it means, what it causes. So if we have somebody who can explain it better, then I will have to judge. But generally, you deserve this ticket, I think.
Give him a hand. Give him a hand.
like it's very, you know, I can't fully accept this answer because.
All right. I
Yeah,
think
let's try.
we have. It's very possible that this guy has all the answers. So let's see if you can do a better job.
Okay, but first question: have I won the ticket previously or not?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe probably you get the ticket, but let's
yes,
listen
you
to
get
this
the
guy.
ticket, but FLC is flash of original content, which means at the times where we're A/B testing on front ends, first you had the glitch with old content visible, and after that suddenly it changes to the newer version or actual version. So for the first glance of the content, you see something else, and then it reflashes the actual content you need to see.
Okay, so I think the first answer was closer and was so for me he gets a ticket. Nice, but like yeah, this is so generally this is something will happens before the styles are loaded. Adding styles with JS DOM API is really nice example of what can cause this. You can also cause this by applying defer attribute to style or link.
So we have one winner. Is
Yeah,
that correct?
exactly. So congratulations.
Congratulations.
And
Next
the second,
question.
Yeah,
Next
the
question,
second
please.
question. So the second question will be a little bit playful.
What
I
is the
think.
question?
If you don't have compiler in your eyes, then I think so. You might have already seen this question. Yeah, it was already okay. So this is the question. So the question states in Polish, which of those snippets can work, have a chance to work actually, and you need to so this is very short question, and generally as I know that this is very like this might cause pain in your eyes, I will be giving some tips second after second. You know, nice. Okay, so you also need to justify why.
Justify in the sense that, thank you very much. Justify in the sense that I'm justifying only the answer I'm choosing, or justify why the previous three or other three ones do not work.
It would yeah. If you justify why those, so is there anybody who also happens to might not, what might be the answer? Okay, so we have generally, okay, so like there are two people, because if you start explaining, then you know people might come up if you would be strong. So there are two yeah. So please explain.
Okay, so the last one will work, and when it comes to why, well, if we take a look at the fed button, there is this weird sign before the text area. And I think this will crash. Yeah, this one exactly.
But isn't this a valid? Okay, yeah, continue.
It's not valid. It's not valid. Then, okay, it works fine. Well, to be like at the first glance, why is it the third one chosen? Not the
No, I have selected that. Sorry. Yeah, Miski, no, don't
you
worry.
scared me to death.
Yeah, no problem.
So
what's the reason that the last one will work?
Well, we have events, so it works. We have targets, so this is the basic when it comes to instructing. We have a parent node, so we are going to the parent of this button. We have a query selector, a proper query selector, which will choose the text area.
Okay,
we have a class list, and we have remove class hidden.
Perfect. This is the right answer, and I think we had, but he was first. Nice. So generally, what's this is? We could also elaborate. Generally, you won. Yes, you can try this. This is the only valid selector. This is a tricky question because you can't start a CSS selector with a tile which is like next successor, next sibling. Nice. I'm impressed because it took you like a millisecond. Second ticket for you. Thank you very much. And I think I need to invite you to my JavaScript championship.
Justina, can you wrap this up for us, please? Thank you so much. Artur, amazing as always.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations to winners. Reach me out after this lightning talk and we'll exchange details. And for the rest of you who didn't win tickets, still there are some for sale. But additionally, you can sign up for hackathon and hack with us. And all hackers can get to the conference for free. So it's worth it. And if you want to join us, go to our Twitter or page where you can find tickets, or Telegram. Thank you very much and see you.
Thank you, ETH Warsaw. And Justina, that was a great contest, a little bit of a relief from all this technical talk. As promised, we're giving away also, this is like the gift hour, lots of things to give away. Free licenses for JetBrains. And we have 2 contestants here, or rather applicants, or rather candidates, or volunteers to deliver lightning talks right now. So please, first, welcome to the stage. Oh boy, these names. Shamsidin Partapiev, and the lightning talk will be about design patterns is not rocket science. You have 5 minutes, sir. Welcome him to the stage. Did I say that name right? Shamsidin, did I say it right? Yes? Welcome, welcome. There you go, 5 minutes.
So hello everyone, my name is Shamsuddin, but you don't have to remember that. I know it's difficult. I will be talking about design patterns. For those who don't know, it's common patterns in software development to solve common problems. But I know that many of you are developers and you know that already, but I wanted to talk about the importance of them. There are 3 types of design patterns: creational, behavioral, and structural. And the thing why they are important is that for example, assume that you are a developer, right? And you write the code, you have a problem, and you solve that problem with some snippets, some lines of the code, right? And if you like solve and write code by using design patterns, you will like look that code like it will be transparent, it will be easy to understand. And when other developer comes who knows design patterns or who doesn't know them, it will be very easy for them to understand that. So I'm gonna bring some examples about how I used and how I saw the usages of design patterns. For example, you know that everyone that knows and uses Instagram, right? And there is like activities or notifications in Instagram, there might be like many types of activities notifications, right? And I saw the solution done with design pattern. It was like one of the creational patterns, and when you use it, for example, you have like new post or new message notifications, and when you add them, it will like mess up. But when you use the design pattern, for example, let's say which one was there, factory method, right? In order to create new types of the notifications. For other developers, it will be really easy to understand. Like it's like a pattern. For example, you worked in some company and you switched to, then after years, you come back to new company. And if you see the same design patterns, it will be easy for you to understand and to work on it, to fix bugs and etc. Also we had one time that it's about singleton pattern. My colleague wanted to optimize one of the endpoints, and the problem was that one instance of the class was creating 128 times, and it was like taking a lot of time. So to solve that problem, my colleague used the design pattern called singleton, and it like increased the performance for 20, 30 milliseconds. And for user experience, we know that this is like a big deal. Okay, so maybe anyone has questions?
Here, take this.
Okay, which pattern, in your opinion, are most widely used? Maybe singleton, and what else?
That like the mostly used pattern, it was like factory method, because like it is used to solve many business problems, and like when you see the code, it will make really obvious to use and really simple to understand it. So I would say like the factory method and also singleton.
Thank you, Shamsuddin. Thank you very, very much. Give him a hand, everybody. And by the way, check with Luisa in the back to check for your free JetBrains license. We need all your contact information. And you guys, for being patient, you guys get a real medal today, because when you do a live stream, and by the way, you'll be able to see this event on our YouTube channel. It'll be recorded for posterity. So in case you missed something, you can always go back and find a reference. Remember, please also to go to our Facebook page at WarsawJS on Facebook. Recommend it. Give us some recommendations, some reviews, and we would really appreciate that. We have one more lightning talk coming, and this one is going to be from a guy who says I should call him George, but his real spelling of his name was more like Hjorye. And I couldn't pronounce it. So this is going to be George. And his topic is going to be KISS JavaScript. Are you here, George? Where are you? Give him a hand.
Okay, hello. Yeah, it should be very fast because I'm already waiting for the toilet. It's 2 hours here waiting for the speakers to end all the conversation. So yeah, hello everyone. My name is George. I'm front-end developer about 8 years already, and every time when I'm working and switching the companies, projects for different solutions, startups, etc., I'm all the time facing the same issue, and the issue is everything is overcomplicated. Like every front-end developer trying to make their own decision, and in at the end it will be like a rocket science, but not all the time we need something like that. For example, most of the companies starting their project for the first time, they don't know even if the idea will work, if the business criteria are met. So I'm trying to say that we need to focus to write the projects as fast as possible to confirm the business idea, to fill the business logics first of all, and then after we will have some money, we can extend and continue to develop. From my experience, I have few startups already have been working with, and most developers, seniors especially, come in and trying to, trying to write tests for the MVP. Why do we need tests for the MVP project? It's kind of not making any sense, because we don't even know if it will be working in the future after we will spend lots of the time. Even I love TypeScript a lot, but for the MVP, I'm sure, because most of the MVP projects are kind of rewriting every time after we will finish them. So my topic is keep it simple and stupid. That JavaScript was written for like 10 days. 10 days. And we are trying to create projects like 6 months, years, only with MVP, only trying to prove the idea. Why should we do that? Every time I'm coming to the technical interviews, people asking me solid pattern. I'm doing forms. Oh, come on, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, writing for 10 days. You don't need such complexity for most of the stuff that we are doing. Keep it simple and stupid. Please, thanks. That's all.
I like your style. That was a great message. Thank you so much. George Hiori. Wait a second, wait. How do you really pronounce your name? That's it? Oh, you mean from Ukraine? Give him a hand. Okay, that's all I need to know. Listen, folks, you guys have been really patient. That was really excellent. And don't forget to give us your contact information so you can get your free JetBrains license. We want to once again thank you guys for your participation and your attendance and your attention. And we want to thank all of our sponsors again. This is CallStack, Daft Code, Evolution, Fresha, PackHelp, Prisma, Sumo Logic, and Xfang. Give them a hand, everybody. And speaking of sponsors, we do have one more very important lightning talk, which means 5 minutes. So hang on to your horses. There will be pizza, we promise. And it'll be good pizza too, I think. Once again, also to Skyworker for helping us to acquire this location, and to Google Campus for Startups, of course. Let's give them a hand as well. We'd like to welcome to the stage one of our sponsors, or someone representing one of our sponsors, to give a short lightning talk from CallStack. Who would that be? Ah, of course. All right. Welcome.
There are two of us.
There are two. Yes.
Maybe this one. 1, 2. Here you go.
There we go.
Yeah, 1, 2. Abi, can you tell me what date Justina's conference is? Do you remember? It was 2 talks ago.
It's probably stored in a database.
Yeah,
somewhere.
it probably is. It's 1st to 4th of September. And do you know what we are trying to promote?
What are we trying to promote?
We are
Łukasz?
trying to promote our conference, which is 1st to 2nd of September.
Exactly.
Yeah, so hello everyone, Łukasz, Abi. We are from CallStack. Yeah, we have short presentation, but the clue of the presentation is we have a conference. It's called React Native EU. It's from 1st to 2nd. You should come to our website and check it out. It's gonna be hybrid, so you can attend online or on-site. What is the version of the conference?
It is the 2022 version.
It's the 6th. it's the 6th times that we are doing this. Apart from that, all talks from the previous 5 conferences you can find on our YouTube channel, CallStack Engineers, and on the same YouTube channel. Oh yeah, that was in a. Okay, so we are official partner of React Native. That's the first name that pops out on the main screen there. Move to the next slide. And this is our conference. You can check the QR code link. Yeah, September 1st to 2nd, online and on site, but check the website. Yeah, so next. We also do have a React Native Show podcast, which I host, and Abi sometimes is a guest on this podcast. What we talk about is greatest and latest from React and React Native news and all that. Next slide. We talk about our libraries. For example, the latest React Native Show podcast, we talk about Reassure. Do you know what Reassure is?
Well, of course I know what Reassure is. We just had a talk about it. Very, very great way to make sure everything is working correctly and keep you, as the developers, reassured everything is functioning smooth as butter.
Yeah, so that's like measuring of your performance over time. So on each PR, you get performance results. All of the other libraries we do, that's our YouTube channel. You should check it out. all the podcasts, all the conference talks are there. What else? And we organize React Native Wrocław meetups. There would been several of them, but I'm thinking we have like team of probably 10 people here in Warsaw. So if you would like to have like React Native meetup specifically in Warsaw, let us know. Maybe we can do something like that.
Let's do it.
Yeah. What else? That's probably all. Yeah, that's the community. Yeah. And that's our job offer. Gosia is here who can recruit you. Yeah, please join our team. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. The best part about that lightning talk is that these guys are our sponsors, and so I could not ring the gong. If they went 7 or 20 minutes, I'd be standing here just crying because you don't gong the sponsors. That was a great presentation. I like the role play as well. Speaking of podcasts, since everyone has something to promote here, I see on the screen that Radio IT is on the screen. Yes, in fact, we, in collaboration with both XFang and WarsawJS, have created a podcast which also marries art, music, creatives, and technology. We have very interesting speakers who are exciting and innovative people involved in the field of technology, IT, and also creatives like music composers and artists who also create visual art and connect visual art with technology. So it's a very interesting show. You can find us on BuzzFeed, Spotify, Facebook. Please visit our Facebook group at Radio IT on Facebook, and we hope that you will really enjoy. We have an amazing selection of independent music and music that is especially designed for people who program and sit at their computers for long periods of time. So we hope you'll check it out, and we hope you'll be back for the 100th. By the way, this is the 95th, so that means we're only 5 meetups away from the 100th, which is going to be a fantastic occasion. Really hope to see you all there. And once again, thanks for your participation. See you next time. Thanks again to our organizers and also to our volunteers, to Louisa and everybody who I love. And pizza is right outside. So thank you guys. Enjoy.